This bill is set down for first reading. Members, the House comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question is in the name of Paul Goldsmith.
Mr. Speaker,
Paul Goldsmith.
My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what will the main focus of the government's budget be on 24 May?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the government has a comprehensive economic program for this term. Our main priorities are responsibly managing the government's finances, building a more productive and competitive economy, delivering better public services and rebuilding Christchurch. The budget on the 24th of May will focus on further implementing that program where we are making substantial progress.
Supplementary, Paul Goldsmith.
Supplementary question. Why is responsibly managing the government's finances, and particularly getting back to budget surplus by 2014 and 15, one of the government's priorities?
Well, Mr. Speaker, through the recession we decided it was appropriate to continue to borrow to protect New Zealanders from the sharp edges of that recession. The result of that has been that government debt has risen from $8 billion in 2008 to $50 billion today, and on current forecast will reach $75 billion before it stops rising. And the only way we can stop it rising is to achieve surplus, which the government wants to achieve by 2014-15.
Supplementary, Paul Goldsmith.
To the Minister, how fast has government spending and debt increased in recent years?
Mr. Speaker, between 2000 and 2009, Crown expenditure jumped by more than 80%, from $35 billion to $64 billion. On top of that, we've had the expense of the earthquakes. I just gave the House before the figures for our public debt. The government will continue to take considered and balanced decisions to close our budget deficit and stop the rapid rise in public debt.
Supplementary, Honourable David Parker.
Did he really call his pre-budget speech today, and I quote, "sticking to a plan that's working"? And if so, was it always his plan to have a stagnant economy, $1 billion hole in tax revenue, a zero budget, a rising current account deficit and record numbers of New Zealanders moving to Australia?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister did give that speech today, and I must say the audience were very grateful that it wasn't a Labor politician giving that speech, because they know what a mess Labor left this economy in when it enjoyed 10 years of benign economic conditions.
Right Honourable Winston Peters.
When will he inform the country that provisional tax estimates are proving the reality to be seriously down, and that this is one more reason his forward surplus forecasts are now based on pure hopeism?
No, Mr. Speaker, I can't confirm that. In fact, the softest bit of the tax forecast has been the GST take, and at least one of the reasons GST is a bit lower than expected is because people are saving more, being careful with their spending, and that's what they expect the government to do.
Supplementary, Paul Goldsmith.
To the Minister, what reports has he seen on alternative approaches to managing the economy?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I have seen reports of alternative approaches that involve, almost without exception, borrowing more money, spending more on programs that don't work, increasing taxes and imposing significant extra costs on businesses. They came from the same party where one of their economic spokesmen said yesterday that the last 30 years of economic policy in New Zealand had been a mistake, and about half of that his party was in government.
Question 2, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.